select your artwork, go to window, and then you see here image trace, and it will give you the panel with the select. I will keep it up here and I'll pull this down a little so we can see it correctly. I also open the advanced button so I can see everything. We can choose for black and white logo or shades of gray. Well, in this case I made it really black and white, so this should be enough. So I only have 2 colors, and that's okay because that's what I want in this case. Well, the threshold is telling how much black it will show and how much detail. So I leave it for now on 128. I will leave the settings for now so you can see what the default is doing. The preview is on, so this is my default. Oh, that's all right. I forgot to tell you. If you select one, it will turn on your preview by default, and it will immediately render your image. So after that, you can turn it off and then slide, because I'm putting it down, because as you can see here, there were circles. It's now a blur, so you can't see those circles, just a few in the middle, but the others are all becoming one big black dot. So I'm pulling it a little bit down. Because it's black and white, I will turn it on more so you can see what it's doing. Now it's really fast, but with a bigger picture I recommend to turn it off in between sliding, because it will take a long time to wait all the time. So you see, if I do it too low, the smaller areas are being ignored, so I can't see them anymore. So in this case I probably made this a little bit too dense in comparison to the other strokes. So I have to find a middle way. I can do this in two ways. I can find the middle way where I think it's acceptable, or I can trace it twice when I focus on the middle and when I focus on the leaves, and then put it together. But that's more work, as you can imagine. So for now I'm going to find a middle way where I'm happy with. So I'm going to pull it down as much as I can, that I don't lose too much of my strokes. And I think I'm on the edge here, so maybe if I can put in, of course, a number, but also with my arrows I can turn it up a notch. Okay, for now I'm happy. Then we go to the advanced options, path. Well, I now told them it's in the middle, and I leave it on now, but so you can see it. So I will put it up a lot so you can see the difference. I must say I'm trying to make it a little bit bigger so we can see it. And I told you also why I put a little flower on the left. As you can see, all the detail here is gone. So to make it larger, it makes it easier. You see, if you make it small and very detailed, that will get lost in the trace. So now I put the path really high, and you can see it's a little bit crunchy. I don't like that. I mostly put it about 95, not really higher than that. Then my lines are smoother, still drawn, so I can see I draw it by hand, and that's what I want. So corners, that's one of the things. I pull this down most of the time because I have a lot of curves here and not really much corners, so I put it all the way down. That smooths it out a little bit, but it still doesn't get rid of my hand-drawn look, so that's good. And the noise, I put it down a lot. Sometimes if I have a lot of details, like here, then it's coming back a little bit. So if I don't want that noise, then you can put it up, and you see I lose a lot of detail now, as you can see. So if I turn it down, I get as much detail as I can. And if you can see now that my middle is been restored a little bit. So maybe I can turn this up a little. Not too much. Maybe two more. You can see that my edge here is not round, but a little jagged because of all the circles I made. So that's exactly what I want. So if you try to make your threshold exactly where you want it, you can remember that if you slide the noise down, then you can, well, how you call that? Then you can repair it a little bit. So the slides together make the perfect outcome. So play with your sliders. Okay, and I turn on the ignore whites, but that's your choice, because if I do this ignore white, it's a little bit thicker. So maybe you want to go back and make it a little bit softer. Well, I'm not sure, but I might do that. But if you do that, it will not trace the white. So you won't have the white fills. It will have only black, the black lines. So then your background and your inside won't be black but transparent. So if you want to have the inside because you want to color it, then you probably want to leave it off. So you can fill the color. So in this case I maybe do that because I would like to color my flower. 95 I had it. So I think that's about all the settings I wanted to show you and I wanted to explain to you. Of course there are many more things I can show you, and this already became a two-part video because of the 10 minutes that wasn't really enough on IGTV. So for sake of time, I will keep it at this. The last step is to tell Illustrator that you're pleased with your settings and that you are ready. Because as long as you, even if I close this one, it's still an image trace object. I can show you that. I open my properties. It's a little bit big. I'll try to make it a little bit smaller so we can see. Yeah, okay. You can see the button expand. Convert tracing objects to paths. So now if I can see it in my layers, I'll pull it up a little bit. You can see it's image tracing. So it's not a path yet. And as soon as I click the expand button, I tell Illustrator I'm ready. So as long as I don't do that and image tracing on, I can go back to the settings through the button here or through the window image trace. Where are you here? I can go back and change it again. It's not ready yet, so I can still tweak it now. As soon as I click the expand button, it's ready and I can't go back. So I click the expand button and now you see it's a group. And the option here, expand, is away. It's a path, or multiple paths, of course. I have other options. It's now an Illustrator object. So after you image trace, you have to accept it by expanding. Then is when you tell Illustrator, okay, I'm ready, make it a vector. So I'm going to zoom in a little. If you work in Illustrator, then maybe you know that if you expand a path, it will make, I will make it bigger so I can show you. Then normally a path is like a line in the middle, and then you can adjust it and you can tweak it. If you look now, here, you can see all those anchor points here around your path, around your black lines. So it's an expanded line. If you expand a normal stroke, a normal brush stroke, then it's first is a line in the middle that you can adjust. As soon as you expand it, it will make a path around that stroke. You can still adjust it by taking an anchor point and pulling it in or out or whatever, Command C. But it's not a stroke you can adjust. So be aware that if you do image trace, it always makes a line around your color, in this case black. So it's an expanded object. So you can adjust them. Like here you see a little bit of a strange gap. So I probably go in and fix that a little bit, make it a little bit more round. That's for another video. So if you want to see more about this and want to learn more about expanding, let me know in the comments or send me a DM, and I will see if I can answer your questions from September, because this was the last episode before summer, and I will pick it up in September. So send me your questions and ideas and suggestions through the summer, and I will make a little schedule to answer all of them in the coming weeks after the holidays. So thank you very much for watching again. Thank you for all your support through my injury, and I'm glad I'm back to work again. And I like to teach, so if you have any questions, don't hesitate. Just send me a comment or a DM. Thank you and have a very nice summer. Bye bye.